The Wyoming wind tore across the open plain, a restless force that shook the loose shingles on Jake Harlan's ranch house and whistled through the cracks in the walls. Inside, the piercing wail of his 6-month-old daughter, Lily, filled the small, dimly lit living room, drowning out the storm's howl. Jake paced the creaky floorboards, his worn boots scuffing against the grain, his broad shoulders hunched under the weight of exhaustion. Lily's tiny face was flushed red, her fists clenched tight, her cries sharp and relentless. He cradled her against his chest, rocking her with a rhythm that felt more desperate than soothing, but nothing worked. Not the bottle, not the pacifier, not the low, clumsy hum of a half-remembered lullaby. The clock on the mantel ticked past 2:30 a.m., its hands mocking him with every sleepless minute. Jake's eyes, bloodshot and heavy, burned with fatigue. He was a cowboy, hardened by years of wrangling cattle and mending fences under an unforgiving sun, but this tiny, screaming bundle, was a challenge he couldn't conquer. Jake Harlan wasn't built for fatherhood. At 32, he knew the rhythm of the land better than his own heartbeat. He could break a wild horse, predict a storm by the shift in the air, or stare down a coyote without blinking. But Lily? She was a mystery wrapped in a soft pink blanket, her cries a language he couldn't decipher. Her mother, Sarah, had left them both 6 weeks after Lily's birth, chasing some vague dream of a singing career in California. She'd packed a bag, kissed Lily's forehead, and walked out without looking back, leaving Jake with a newborn, a ranch on the brink of ruin, and a heart bruised but too stubborn to break. He hadn't heard from her since, not a call, not a letter. Just silence, as vast as the Wyoming plains. Now, it was him and Lily against the world, and the world was winning. The house was a mess, a reflection of Jake's unraveling life. Dishes piled in the sink, laundry spilled from a basket in the corner, and the faint smell of sour milk clung to the air. The ranch itself wasn't faring much better. The fences needed mending, the cattle were leaner than they should be, and the bank's letters about missed payments were stacking up on the kitchen table. Jake had always prided himself on his self-reliance, on the way he could carve a living from the harsh land, but Lily's arrival had shifted the ground beneath him. He was drowning, and her cries were the waves pulling him under. Outside, the wind carried a new sound, a faint creak, sharp and distinct, cutting through the storm's drone. Jake's head snapped up, his instincts kicking in despite the fog of exhaustion. He shifted Lily to one arm, her wails barely dimming, and crossed to the window. The glass was streaked with dust, but the moonlight revealed a figure moving across the frost-dusted grass. Someone was climbing over the split-rail fence that separated his property from the small cabin next door. Jake's brow furrowed.